Children, my children, what is it you've done? My daughter, my son, don't run, stop. I'm not mad, I'm your dad. Just sit and listen closely to the words that I must say, because as of today, you're alone. You're on your own. You've left me no choice but to disown you and all who spring from your seed, for you've willingly agreed to allow that dastardly snake to play into your greed and mislead you to swap the very life force you need for some fruit. And this selfish pursuit leaves you destitute. You've jumped from the plane with no parachute and given license to the dark one even I can't refute. You traded me for a tree, and now you're his for all eternity. Do you not see what you've awoken? Why? Why did you not heed the words I'd spoken? My heart is broken. You've guaranteed you and yours a final last breath. You'll all taste death. And death, my sweet children, your heart ceasing to beat, your brain ceasing to fire, I tell you, this is the highlight of what shall transpire. Your final moment of life will be a veil of laughter compared to what you can expect before and then after. You see, your earthly existence was never to end, but now, just a very short time, shall you spend helplessly vying and failing to defend a heart full of suffering, unable to mend, full of fear and uncertainty. You'll try to suspend as medicinal experts attempt to extend a predestined endgame they can't comprehend. And this life, this existence, once set for perfection, will now be a painful collection of four key arenas which strive for correction but bring only rejection and dejection and disconnection. First, your missional nature, once clear and directed, will now be infected with doubt and with longing, which pull you to search, always coming up short, and you're left in the lurch, asking, why am I here? What is my goal? My destiny confused. I feel used, abused, underpaid, overworked. I work for perks and longer vacation, feeling no sense of true affirmation. Where is my station? Second, your moral nature will experience upheaval now that you have the taste for evil. You'll struggle and straggle, you'll toil and tilt, fiending for righteousness, laden with guilt. I try to be good, my intentions are sound. You'll cry as your compass keeps spinning you round, your conscience careening your mind back and forth, unable to locate which way is true north. Third, your relational nature, which knew only love, for agape was streaming through clear from above. Your heart was created to fit like a glove with all of the others, your sisters and brothers. But now you'll experience discord and fracture as you manufacture resentment and selfishness and bonds, codependent, toxically running through every descendant, enmeshment, abandonment, secrets, shame, defensiveness, jealousy, envy, blame, forever pining and searching like mad for a love you remember yet never had. Finally, fourth, your spiritual nature, your union with me, I expect of these four, is the clearest to see. I cannot, as you know, pair with sin in the least, and therefore, sweet children, our union has ceased. These bitter realities will fill all your days, a pitiful, fruitless, and haggard malaise. That's the before. That's what you'll know as life, confusion, dissatisfaction, and strife, simmering slowly until brought to a boil, until the moment you shrug off this here mortal coil. And so you will perish and find sweet relief, or at least the belief that you're seemingly rising from down underneath, that you finally escape this skin, this sheath, and I bequeath to you, this is true. Your earthly imprisonment will indeed be through. This assumed transition of which you suspect is correct, though this hypothesis will bring no bliss, as the second installment of your chosen curse will be so much worse. What waits for you behind the hearse will be complete immersion in the black heart of perversion, a land where all the sin your earthly form fought in a fruitless battle to toe the norm shall cascade down in a nightmarish storm, as every element known to deform will swarm, every dark instinct which once pushed from your chest will appear before you, made manifest. Your deepest fears emerging external, streaming about in a dance infernal, a demonic dispatch, a fire eternal, and your host, the retainer of the deed to your soul, is salivating, awaiting the total control and methodical torture he'll delight to administer, constructing a state of agony sinister, in which what feels tolerable after day one, midway through day two, you'll look back on as fun, where by week's end, what felt to you utterly frightful, you'll reminisce back on as warm and delightful, and on shall it go, with no hope of stopping, with a bottom continually, impossibly dropping. And to save you, oh children, my children, I dream to deliver you back to the heavenly team, the lengths I would travel, the pain I would weather to reform our union, that we should come back together. But never will there be a worse parental offense than a parent who fails to demand consequence. My wrath seems like hatred, though it's no less adoration than the love I employed in your holy creation. Yet regardless of how you misbehave, the daddy in me desperately wishes to save you from ever experiencing a last final breath. But the wages of sin are death. And the judge in me, perfectly righteous by nature, has no choice but to obey my own legislature. And so you must go, you must leave my fair garden, but know that my heart, it is never to harden. My longing for you and those you beget, I'll never forget. I'll use all my power to find a solution, a substitution, a way that the debt you've incurred could be paid without flatly ignoring the mess that you've made. The problem inherent, which may not be apparent, is that I hold the dual role of both judge and parent. If only my oneness could take on both tasks, to save and adjudicate, to don both masks. Interesting that. Maybe there is a way to both honor my ruling and retrieve what's astray. I say to you, go. You must leave me in peace. Know that I'll work to secure your release. An idea has sprung, not yet prepared for my tongue, yet within my mind a plan to unbind you from he, the dark lord, the one so rotten. I must now speak with my one son begotten.